On the 4th day of Who Week, I'm already behind. Yep, welcome to the 4th day of Who Week on my channel, which should be the 5th day of Who Week, but I missed a day earlier on in the week due to video exporting errors and me accidentally deleting footage which I had recorded and having to start from scratch on a video. And yeah, I'm a day behind. I'm probably not going to catch up now, which means I need to kind of revise my plan for the week. I'm not sure how many, which of the videos I'm going to get out that I plan to now, but I thought today what I would do is try and do a really quick one. So not much editing, no fancy graphics or anything like that, just the bog standard me talking to the camera so that it'll be easy to edit and I can actually try and at least get back on schedule tomorrow and not be recording a video at 10 to 11 at night, which is what it is now. So on that note, and kind of in the spirit of looking forward now to the new series, but also still kind of looking back, I'm going to be looking at Chis Chibnall, looking forward, but looking at the episodes he has written so far for Doctor Who, looking back. So it kind of bridges the two bits of the week. He's only written 4 stories for Doctor Who so far, so it should be relatively quick, and I'll try not to talk very long about each one. Before we start, I will quickly say that before embarking on the rewatch of these episodes for this list, I had memories, not very good memories of Chis Chibnall episodes, basically, which was my only real worry about the new series, was actually, Series 11 was actually Chis Chibnall himself. However, that was mitigated slightly by the fact that I loved Broadchurch, so that was okay, I guess, but I was still a little bit worried. However, having rewatched them, they're not as bad as I remember them being. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not going to win any awards for best in the series or anything like that, or best in each series that they were in, or anything like that. But, you know, most of them are okay. But which is the least okay? Let's get to the bottom placing. Number 4 for Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. I remember absolutely hating this episode when it first aired. I thought it was juvenile, I thought it was silly, and I just thought it was aiming too much towards children. With the way everybody was acting, with the whole premise, with the silly robots, and everything. However, having rewatched it, I found a lot I actually quite liked about the episode. And it's not as bad as I thought it was. I mean, I still hate the Mitchell and Webb robots, and I could have done without the gang of the Doctor, but you know, the ancient Egyptian Nefertiti and the game hunter guy, could have done without them. They were a little bit annoying, but I loved Brian. Brian was great. Rory's dad was great. I'm sad we only got to see him in 2 episodes and a little kind of postscript animated thing. I would have liked to have seen him more. He was amusing. I liked him. And I thought this was an interesting way to do a Silurian story without actually featuring any Silurians, apart from one on the screen. And let's not forget David Bradley, who I thought was great as Solomon, although it's now slightly weird watching him as Solomon when I kind of now think of him as the first Doctor. It's a bit strange. But yeah, this episode is on the bottom because there is stuff I really still don't like about it, like really actually hate, mainly the robots. And there is stuff that I quite like about it, so it still ended up right at the bottom. Power of 3 I'm putting in 3rd place. Yeah, Power of 3 in 3rd place. And I thought it was an interesting idea, the Doctor being stuck on Earth, having to put up with the Pond's domestic bliss and their everyday boring lives for a little bit while they investigate these strange boxes. It was an interesting idea, and it led to a couple of amusing moments, but the story didn't really kick off and get going properly until about halfway through. So although there were a few interesting moments, there were points where it dragged in the first half. I didn't really get why UNIT didn't just gather up all of the cubes. Why would they let them just be out there? That doesn't seem like a sensible course of action. I mean, come on, UNIT. What were Torchwood doing during this time? Come on, somebody should have gathered up the cubes in one place, rather than letting them eventually gather data on everyone. I think the bad guys being something from Time Lord folklore, legend, whatever, is a bit of an overused trope at this point. But they were okay, I guess. What I did like, one thing I did like, is we got the introduction of Kate Stewart, who I think is a brilliant character, and I'm disappointed we didn't see her in the last series. Who knows? Perhaps as she was introduced in a Chibnall episode, maybe she'll come back. Who knows? Second place, I've put 42. It's kind of just your bog standard base/ship under siege with a slight horror bent of possession added in. It's a fairly bog standard Doctor Who story. There's not really much you can say about it that makes it great, or much about it that says that's really terrible. The two things that I would put as negatives towards it, the audio mix, where the music is way too loud in some parts and really just overpowers the scene, and which is a technical issue more than an episode thing. And even though one of the tracks is one of my favourite tracks of Doctor Who music, it just the way it was used was a bit too OTT in my opinion. And also, for some reason, I found Martha really annoying in this episode. I don't know why, because I usually really like her, but in this episode, she was a bit annoying. So that leaves Hungry Earth / Cold Blood as my favourite Chris Chibnall pre his showrunner era story. I gather a lot of people have a problem with this because they say, or so I've read, that it's very similar in terms of the general plot aspects to the Silurians' original story from the 70s. Now, I haven't seen the Silurians' original story from the 70s. I'm still working my way through Classic Who. I haven't seen it all. So I haven't, and that's one of the ones I haven't seen. So can't say that bothers me particularly. I'm not judging it against that. As a two-parter, I think this is well paced, and it acted as a good introduction to a classic series character for a new audience. Like I say, I hadn't seen any Silurian stories of the classic era, and I got all the information I needed. It didn't feel like I was being bombarded with a load of, like, oh, I should know this already type stuff. So it worked for me, and the pacing was good, and the story was interesting. And then, of course, Rory being killed at the end and then erased from time. I thought that was a very touching moment. Obviously, I gather that bit would have been dictated by Stephen Moffat to Chris Chibnall, because it's part of the overarching plot arc. But it was a nice touch, and I like how it played out. And gave our main actors, it gave Matt Smith and Karen Gillan both a lot of stuff to show their range in those scenes, which I quite liked. So I've tried to be really quick with those. I didn't go into much detail. I know I could have expanded those a lot more, but I want to make a really quick video. That's just my quick ranking of all of the Chibnall episodes so far before Series 11. And what do you think? Which one's your favourite? Which one's your least favourite? Put them in the comments below. And I will try and be back, editing software and me not deleting videos permitting, tomorrow for one more video before Sunday, and our big I'll have a review or something after the programme, after Doctor Who airs. So yeah, see you then. Oh, and don't forget to I forgot to tell you, don't forget to check out the previous Doctor Who week videos here. They should be on that side of the screen right about now, and there's a subscribe button somewhere. So check those out, press all the buttons, subscribe, like, all that jazz, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.